This is the story about the person who stole like 7 pairs of shoes worth $10,000 from us. What is going on, guys? It's your boy Jacob here, or FaZe Teeqo. We are back with a brand new video. I never really planned on making a video on this because it's very once again, this is personal stuff. So yeah, quite interesting stuff. This happened a long time ago. I'm literally just gonna go over the whole story. And I know what people are gonna think now, that this is clickbait and this is this and this is that. And this is actually a true story. And once you start hearing a little bit about it, you're gonna realize that it's way too messed up for me to make it up. Like, I could never make this up. I'm not this creative or f***ed up because it's kind of a story what happened. Again, from the title of this video, you can probably figure out that we lost a good amount of shoes, and we lost shoes for around $10,000. This is not recent. This is not in this house. This is in our the Newport house, the LA FaZe house, whatever you want to call it, where we all lived. Me, Alex, Nordan, Lucas, Tommy, Cheo, and did I miss anyone? Apex. I'm sorry, but it's so hard with all these houses and all the people in them, and it's so hard and so confusing who moved in, who moved out, who moved in, when to move out. You all get the deal. Anyways, the Newport house, aka the LA FaZe house. Our house last year, before the Hollywood house and before this house. I'm not gonna mention any names. I'm not gonna tell you guys who it is, simply because you have never seen him. You do not know what it looks like. He's never been in videos, and we've never had him on like that. He was a close friend. He was someone who personally I hung out with a lot, and I'm gonna get to it, but yeah, I was trying to help him out a lot, be a friend, and I considered him a really good friend of mine. I think we all did, especially myself and Cheo. And then this happened. I'm just gonna start from scratch. I'm gonna get all into it. This is the story about the person who stole 7 pairs of shoes worth $10,000 from us. A quick little backstory about how things normally went down in the Newport house is basically, as you guys know, we were 7 or 8 people living there permanently, every day, whatever. But when you're 7 people living, there's always someone having a friend over, there's always someone having guests, there's always someone having someone else over. So we were pretty much always, not always, but a lot of times 10 plus people every single day in that house. That was just normal, and that was just that's just the way it was. Someone had a bro over there, someone had a guest, someone had a couple of bros over there. When we moved to LA, there's a lot of people that want to work with you, there's a lot of people that want to hit you up, and there's a lot of people that want to I'm not saying use you, but in some way get in a little bit what you're doing or what phase we're doing. I'm not saying this person was doing that, but I'm just saying, unfortunately, that's how things work here. And that's why we were very careful with who we were letting in our house now. That's why we were chilling. Locked doors, it's only us 4, and very only people we really trust, because we've made this mistake before, personally especially. What happened was that we started hanging out with this person through, I'm not going to get into details, but basically through a company, through a contact that we were going to do some work with. And this person was the person that basically made it happen. He was also a very nice guy who, once again, I cared for and I wanted well, and I really tried to help because of things he said that he was going through, which ended up not being true. So a little backstory about this person: he basically lied to us from day one, but we didn't find out a year later. That's how shitty it was, and that's how fooled we got, and that's how tricked, he played us so hard. He would lie about everything. His whole life, as I knew it, and the person I thought I knew, was a lie. He lied about everything. He lied about his sister dying, he lied about his mom dying, he lied about his dad being depressed and he had to take care of him, and nothing was true. Just to put it to perspective who we were dealing with and what kind of person he was, and for the story to not be made up. But in the middle of everything, while we were becoming friends with him, these things started to come up, and obviously you want to bring them in, you want to help them, because in the middle of everything was apparently when his mom was going through everything, and then later on she passed, he said. But obviously, if I have a close friend that's going through something, I'm going to try and help them out as much as possible. So I offer him to come by the house whenever he wanted to. I offer him to call me. You know what, I'm here for you, dog, whenever you need me to. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for you. Because I really thought he was going through all of this shit. So I was always man, the house is always open. You can always come here. You can always be here, that's just who I am. I'm too nice sometimes, and I get fucked over, man. I think this started happening pretty much a year ago on the date, quite early last year when we had first moved into the LA house and all that. And then something happened that we never ever shared with you guys. One day, I cannot remember the specific date, but I'm pretty sure it was in May. So around in a couple of weeks from now. I remember him telling me this specifically because he could not believe it. He landed super early in the AM, went home, changed, went to the gym to play basketball. Okay, that was his morning. He had just been home, changed, left, came home, 3 pairs of his shoes are gone. Or he just realized that 3 pairs of his shoes are gone, including the pair he had that morning when he had just landed, went home to change, literally got home, took them off, dropped them here, went to the gym, came back, they're gone. He realized with, which was his Pirate Blacks, Yeezy, Pirate Blacks, you already know what kind of shoe that is. He realized with those, and then he went over his shoes, and he realized that he had lost 3 more pairs, which was, I think, 1 more pair of Yeezys and another pair of, can't remember which shoe it was. I just know it was 3 a bit too expensive pairs of shoes, and shoes you don't want to lose, especially the Pirate Blacks, which I know are his favorite, or were his favorites. And obviously we were like tripping. We're like, wait, no way, you must have just misplaced them, because you guys know the Newport house was kind of big, and it was like easy to accidentally, sometimes you walk downstairs, played some pool, took your shoes off, and you kind of forgot about them because it's a big house. You don't really lose them, but you misplace things rather. First day, basically, we were all like, we'll find them. You left them in your locker in the gym, or they're in your car. You know what I'm like? You put your shoes somewhere, you misplaced them. But a day went by, we were looking everywhere. Like, we were heavily looking everywhere. Everyone were looking. Then Lucas came home, or the same morning when he woke up, I can't remember. He realized, damn, I've lost a pair of shoes too. We were like, wait, this just doesn't add up. I can't remember where Alex was either, if he was in Arizona, but he came home and he realized, man, I've lost 3 pairs of shoes as well. And we were like, no way. Actually, no way. Because Alex thought we were trolling him, that we just made up this whole story that Nordan lost his shoes and Lucas lost his shoes. So we could basically paranoid trick him into him losing his shoes. But obviously that wasn't the case. Someone actually stole a lot of our shoes, including Alex's, who lost red human races. He lost another 2 pair of Yeezys. Man, I feel bad for Alex. You guys don't even know about this story, but he has lost shoes before. He lost most pairs that time as well. And around this time still, when Alex had lost shoes, Lucas lost 1 pair, and Nordan lost pairs, I checked my shoes, obviously, and I was like, I'm good. I have all of them. I found out by scrolling through my phone, seeing a selfie when I was sitting in the mirror taking a picture, wearing my moon rocks. I'm like, wait, I haven't seen those in a while. I lost my moon rocks. That motherfucker took my moon rocks. We're talking shoes that if you add it up with all the Yeezys, with the human races and everything, you're adding up to around $10,000. And obviously that sucks, but the biggest deal with us was that we did not know who he was. And we just couldn't figure out who it was. We all went detective mode. This was literally driving us all crazy, especially Tommy. Tommy didn't lose any pairs of shoes, but he was the one like taking it the hardest almost. He was just so upset that someone would do this. And he was like, man, who is it? Because Tommy had a couple of friends over who did not do it, 100% did not do it, but Tommy met a couple of people at the gym who he started hanging out with. By the way, awesome people, but I'm just saying, unfortunately, the timing was that happened around the same time when we lost shoes, which means that unfortunately, because of us not having a lot of names on the list, they unfortunately got added on the being accused list because we didn't have anyone else. Like it was a mystery. Just imagine living in a house and you lose 7 pairs of shoes and you maybe have 3 or 4 people that you can really like. These are the only people that have been in the house. Again, it was not them. They were awesome people, but we had to ask them. We had to try and figure out who it was because you have to understand us as well. We're at home in our own house losing shoes for tens of thousands of dollars. Like next time it could be our jewelry or full equipment or anything. Look at Alex, it happened 3 times. If it happens once, so we wanted to figure it out, you know what I'm saying? This is what I hate the most, that the person that we started hanging out with, mainly myself and Teeqo, but mainly towards the end and stuff, myself. And I vouch for this person, okay? This is why I take partly blame, and I feel really, really bad for this because it could have not been him. I promise it wasn't him. He's a great guy. He's going through shit. He would never. Because once again, this is in the middle of what I hear, what I think about someone that I care for, my friend, going through all the terrible things he said he was going through, about his mom being very, very sick in cancer, and all of this shit, and I could see him, how sad he was, which was obviously just a one big fucking lie and faking it and everything, but I thought he was really hurt. So my initial thought is he would never steal 7 pairs of shoes from his homies who was doing everything to help him out, right? Think again. The toughest part and the hardest part is that we didn't find out till December or January of 2018, which is just a couple months ago, which means that I hung out with this guy for almost half a year after, without knowing he stole from us. That's what sucks the most, man, because I don't see myself as stupid. But this, I just couldn't. But I think it is because I felt so much for him that I looked past everything else. Because now afterwards, there's so many signs where it's like, oh, makes sense. Oh, okay. Yeah, we should have noticed that. We should have noticed this. But I guess my care and just wanting well for him, because I really thought all this shit was going down, made me overlook certain things that maybe were a little bit suspicious. So this is a guy who I invited over to the house several times after, and I told everyone it could not be him, it could not be him. I did so much for him. And right before we found out in December, I was back home in Sweden, and I was talking to this person because he was going through even more shit. By then, his mom had passed, and he was taking care of his dad, who was super depressed and just not trying to live anymore and all this stuff. And I was there for him while being in Sweden, dealing with everything my grandma was going through and being sick and all that. And it's just like, it just sucks when you like try that hard for a person who turns out to be the person who fucking stole from you half a year ago, and everything he told you about his life and who he was a lie. His mom is alive, his dad is chilling. Like, this shit blew our minds, okay? And I know what all of you guys are gonna think is like, why did he do it? Why did he do it? Why did he do it? We don't know why he did it. If that's my friend and he's going through that kind of shit, the last thing I'm gonna think is that he stole from us. So credit to him, but it's just the most fucked up thing you could do. So how we found out was that I was in Sweden. This was when I was like trying to help him, and I helped him to the point, okay? So this is how we found out. I helped him to the point where I let him sleep in my room in the house. While I was in Sweden and he was going through all this and he was being sad and he was calling me and everything, I was calling him from Sweden trying to fix this. I got him an Uber so he could go to our house, sleep in my bed, be in my room in our house, to take care of him. That was this December, like a week before we found out that he was the one that stole our shoes half a year ago. So it got to a point where me and Cheo were just like, yo, some of this stuff doesn't add up. Mainly Cheo. We started questioning him for certain things, and Cheo did it over and over and over, and they started getting into arguments. I actually have some videos from this, but I won't be able to show this, and it's like videos from inside our house of screaming and shit going down. No physical stuff, but then in the middle of nowhere, you just hear a clip going, yeah, I fucking did it. I took your shoes. And that's how we found out. Like, he got too pushed back by questions and things that now starting to add up. And Cheo started questioning him and going at him. You can only lie so much, and you're gonna get to a point where it doesn't add up anymore. If you're gonna lie about something and you're gonna lie about it for that long, it's hard to lie. Like, it really is. It may be easy the first time, and the second time, and the fourth time, but if you're trying to live with a lie and remain friends with people like us while you stole from them, it's really hard to accidentally not tell the truth, because the truth is always there. The truth is always what happened, and it's always like there. You know what I'm saying? Lies is something you have to come up with yourself, which means that telling the truth is always easier. You're always just telling what happened. But if you start lying, it's very easy for you to change small things, add certain things that wasn't there before, take away certain things that was there, because again, when you're lying, it's hard to remember what you really said, because you're not speaking the truth. So that started happening. Cheo went at him once again, and that's really how we found out. We just started pushing him, asking him questions, and he just couldn't take it anymore, and he just burst out and said, yeah, I fucking did it. I took your shoes. And that's how we found out. But to me, honestly, I took this really hard, because I took blame for this because of me vouching for him, saying it wasn't him like half a year ago when we had just lost the shoes, and then it turns out that he was the one that took the shoes. It just sucks that I cared so much for someone, and like I felt for them when it was all a lie, and I just looked past things that I shouldn't, because I should have noticed earlier. So yeah, guys, that's another reason why we live in this house now, when we don't really have guests coming over. Like, we don't really have people. We have a very, very, very small amount of people coming over. We're a very close circle group because of certain things that have happened to us. Yeah, guys, that's just a little story I wanted to tell you guys, because once again, I'm a little bit sick and I haven't really vlogged and been too active, but I wanted to make a little sit down video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the little story time. If you guys did enjoy this story, or want to hear more stories, want to hear me talk about more stories, maybe even sit down with Lucas, maybe even sit down with Nordan or Cheo and have a story time with someone from the old house, from the New York house, or from anything that have happened. If you enjoy these kinds of videos when it's a little bit more relaxing, you just sit down and listen, let me know please in the comment section below, because I do enjoy them. It's kind of fun to just share certain memories, and obviously today's story is sad and sucks, but we have some good stories too and some fun stuff. So if you want to see more stories, or hear more stories rather, please let me know in the comment section below. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and I'll be back for a brand new video tomorrow. Sensei is coming here tomorrow, so if you want to see a workout video with him, or me box him, knocking him out, let me know in the comment section below. And then Scissors is moving in on Sunday. Woo! Let's fucking get it. I hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic Friday weekend. I love you. Face up.